taking it from a very real place and adding some embellishment to it to fit the needed discussion.
Right.
Anybody who would call me and ask what really happened is, hey man, what happened? What's up with this? Well, the case was resolved due to a motion to suppress all of the evidence because of an illegal search or seizure. The case was dismissed.
You gotta say it slow for him, bro. You gotta say it slow
the case was resolved because of a motion to suppress all evidence due to an illegal search and seizure. No need to point no finger, say nothing about nobody or anybody about nothing.
That situation shouldn't have happened.
Exactly. That was the argument that my counsel took to the judge. The judge banged his gavel after hearing why they pulled us.
Shalom, and you're now locked in here at Israelite Talk TV, where you get nothing but the raw and the real whenever I'm in front of the camera. So make sure y'all show the page some love, like, subscribe, and share.
Shalom and greetings, and welcome back to another episode here at Israelite Talk TV, where you get the full 100 whenever I'm in the building and no paid media points. Okay, now you see the thumbnail, you see the title. That's right, T.I.'s back in the headlines, and T.I. has retracted his statement about him putting his gun case on his cousin. Okay, now this stuff is mind-boggling to me, and we just got to talk about it. I don't know if this is a ploy. Because one of the things that you got to understand is that controversy sells. Okay, so this stuff about Boosie and T.I. having an album, if you notice, right, T.I. came out like right before this interview dropped, right, with Boosie, right, and he was basically talking about this album that he's getting ready to drop called Kill the King. Okay, so is this promotion for T.I. for this last album that he's supposedly getting ready to drop, or you know, whatever, you know, he said it's the, you know, he's basically want to do away with the title The King of the South, or whatever the case may be. Is this promotion for this album? Like, I don't understand what is really going on in this situation, right? It's a lot of red flags that just don't seem right, and we're going to go back and we're going to look at that. But at any rate, I'm getting ready to get into some of the audio, because not only did T.I. release the statement on Instagram, he actually sat down on the Rich Trapper network or channel here on YouTube and did an interview concerning, you know, what everybody's talking about him being a snitch. And he basically went on to say that he did not put that he did not tell on his cousin or put the gun on him, but that he basically that the case was actually threw out for other reasons. And he states that he said that on his network for talking points. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to play the audio and let you guys hear that. And I'm going to also leave a link down in the description box where you can go over to the Rich Trapper Network and actually listen to the full interview yourself. I want to highlight a few things that I think wasn't asked in that interview. I don't think the question was asked if you do catch a case and you put the case on somebody that's dead, if that's really snitching. Because I believe that came along because Boosie jumped into this stuff with Birdman and his brother Terrence Gangster Williams, because he told on some people that was dead, and he basically weighed in. Now, once again, this is Boosie weighing in on something that he really, I mean, if you a street person, you ain't really got no business speaking on that, you know what I'm saying, situation anyway. But he butted his nose in that, spoke on that situation after Detective Vlad reeled him in, and he set a standard. So then people like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Okay, T.I. said he did the same thing. Are you going to, you know what I'm saying? Because you even had Hot Boy Turk come out and speak about that. Okay. But at any rate, I'm going to play this audio, right? And I guess the question that I want to put out there, because see, this is the thing that's confusing our youth. When you look at the regions from the East Coast to the West Coast to down south to the Midwest, it seems like in all of these different regions, everybody has different opinions on what snitching is, okay? And the goalpost continues to get moved whenever it's one of their favorites that's to tied up or wrapped up in one of these situations, okay? Because they want to so bad to keep their face clear so that, you know what I'm saying, they can do business with them or whatever the case may be. So it's just like, you know, it's all of this confusion. You know, one part of the region is saying that if you tell on your dead cousin, it's snitching. You got another region that's saying that it's not snitching. T.I. never clarified whether that would be considered snitching if that was actually true about him getting caught with this gun and putting it on his cousin, if that would be considered snitching. I think that's the thing that we got to get to the bottom of, because these are the things that's just keeping this confusion up. And then it's just, you know, you got so many different ideologies on what telling is. Okay. So now I'm going to play this audio, right? And I'm going to come back and give you guys a little commentary. All right. So here we go.
Taking it from a very real place and adding some embellishment to it to fit the needed discussion.
Right.
Anybody who would call me and ask what really happened is, hey man, what happened? What's up with this? Well, the case was resolved due to a motion to suppress all of the evidence because of an illegal search and seizure. The case was dismissed.
You gotta say it slow for him, bro. You gotta say it slow.
The case was resolved because of a motion to suppress all evidence due to an illegal search and seizure. No need to point no finger, say nothing about nobody or
legal
anybody about nothing.
standpoint, that situation shouldn't have happened.
Exactly. That was the argument that my counsel took to the judge. The judge banged his gavel after hearing why they pulled us.
So now, family. Okay. So now, so you guys just heard what T.I. just stated, right? So T.I. is telling us that from his own mouth that this case never happened. I mean, it never happened to the point where he got caught with the gun and he put it on his cousin just to make the case go away. He tells us that the case was throughout for an illegal search and seizure. Okay. So then the question that we have to ask ourselves, right, is that if what T.I. is saying is 100, I don't know. I can't confirm it. I haven't seen the paperwork. I wasn't there. But if this is true, why would you sit down on your podcast and say something contrary to that just to fit a narrative or just for a talking point? Because this goes back to my original point, man, about these entertainers. Why would you push and peddle something or put that ideology out there or that idea that it's okay to do that if you haven't done that, knowing that this is going to cause confusion, you know what I'm saying, in the different communities all around the world, that, you know, you got people that's in the streets that's trying to live these street rules. You know what I'm saying? Why would you sit down and do that? You know what I'm saying? That's the bigger question. See, these are the questions. This is why I said over here, you don't get no paid media points. You get the full 100. We ask the tough questions. You know, if T.I. would have been on Israelite Talk TV, that I would have asked him that, is that considered snitching? Number one. Number two, if you didn't tell and you didn't do that, like you said on the podcast, why would you put that type of ideology or energy through the airways and send that into households all around the world when you know that you didn't do that? And if that's considered a form of snitching and you're supposedly keeping this so-called street code, why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't make any sense. You know, the other thing that I noticed, family, okay, now you guys go watch that interview. I noticed that T.I. energy was a little off. It kind of seemed like he was trying to duck his taco when Rich Trapper asked him about the relationship with him and Boosie, right? Now, let me say this, right? Let me play this clip first, and then I'm gonna come back and give my commentary on it. Now, listen to this.
As men, we're all held accountable, man. We're bound to our decisions, man.
And that's what I wanted to ask you. Is the bridge burnt down, or is it just needs to be mended? And right now it's just a gap, or is this a forever like, nah, I'm good?
Bro, I don't have no crystal ball. I'm trying to making an effort to exist on a higher level of consciousness. So I'm not putting no negative energy out in the air.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Right. I want things to always remain optimistic. But that ain't my decision. Whatever path anybody, they feel that their journey has led them on, that's on them.
So he basically asked T.I., was this water under the bridge? Can the bridge be mended? And he was just basically like, it's up in the air, right? Now, my thing is that the same energy that he had for Charleston White, why didn't he have that same energy for Boosie, man? Because let's just keep it a buck. If you got somebody that you cool with, right? And you expect that person to come to you and holler at you if it's a situation and they do some foul stuff like go to an interview with Vlad, sit down and speak on something, then talk to you. Now, mind you, these guys got a joint album that's done. And Boosie even admitted that he hadn't talked to T.I. ever since then. That's some sucker, some coward type stuff because, number one, if he really messed with T.I., he should have reached out to T.I. So now T.I. want to sit here in front of the camera and want us to believe that him and Boosie gonna be cool after this. If that's the case, this is some WWF stuff. I mean, I'm just gonna speak from my perspective. If somebody did me like that, it ain't no, man, nah, it can. I mean, yeah, I can forgive you, you know what I'm saying, for what you did, but I'm not having no dealings with you. That's some foul stuff. Because how can I trust you up the road to be solid if you're doing something like this? You can't even come to me and ask me like, well, what's going on with this particular situation? But then you will run to the internet. So that's why I'm saying that this some WWF stuff or what's going on. I know I personally ain't dealing with nobody after that try to do something to me like that, where they try to dirty my name and drag it through the mud. And then once again, let's get back to Boosie and this if. See, oh, well, if. That right there tells me that there's some foul business going on, that there's some WWF stuff that's going on, because what is the info? You know what I'm saying? And all of this stuff that he did on Vlad TV, he could have just called T.I. and confirmed that and just went on about his business and said, hey, we putting the album out, the man and tell, woo, this is what it is. Why all this WWF, all of this fakeness, man? Like, I don't understand this, man. This whole situation is confusion. You got T.I. sitting up here talking about, he said on his podcast, said that he did something that nobody asked him about, okay? Then he turns around and said, well, no, that didn't happen. What really happened is the guns got threw out for illegal search and seizure. I really didn't do that. Woo. So why would you sit on a podcast and just start jolly popping like that and put that type of information out there, energy out there, if that's not what you did, or this is not something that something that's in line with the street code? Okay. Then you have Boosie that didn't reach out to T.I. when he could have easily called the man, pulled up to his house. You know what I'm saying? He goes sit down on a Vlad TV interview and say, if T.I. did this, what is it the if about? What is the if about? If the man said out his mouth he did something, then the question we got to ask ourselves, if it didn't happen, why would you sit down and say that anyway? Like what? Like, it's just family. This is nothing more than sorcery at its highest, man. When these entertainers get trapped off, this is what they do, because they want to try to save face and they got to stay relevant. You know what I'm saying? So now people going to be sitting back and listening to T.I. to see what he finna drop on his album, to see if he going to take some shots at Boosie. You know what I'm saying? So it just seems like all of this stuff was fake and phony. You know what I'm saying? And then when the rich trapper asked him about his son hanging with Boosie's son, if Boosie did you like that, why would you subject your son to being, you know what I'm saying, prone to something like that possibly happening to him? You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like what Boosie did was real, because number one, he never spoke to T.I. He never called T.I. and asked T.I. about that. He got on an interview and started capping. So it's like, what is it? And then he asked T.I., is it just water under the bridge? Can y'all mend this? T.I. didn't say like, hey, okay, I forget, dude, but I ain't messing with homes like that. That's over with. I mean, because who would do that? Who would continue to mess with somebody who did them like that, man? Like, it's fake and phony. And my thing is, the reason why it's fake and phony is because when it's the Charleston Whites of the world, they ready to go in. They talking all this stuff. But when it's people like Boosie, people where it might be some problems, they duck their taco. And it's just like, hey, it's up in the air. It's on him. It's whatever he want to do. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Now, because my thing is, T.I., he got your name in his mouth speaking on some stuff. And basically, if that's not what's going on, he just gospeling. So how is that gangster and how is that okay if this is what he's doing, if this is not, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, fam, y'all leave y'all thoughts on this whole thing. But T.I. has retracted his statement, said he did not tell on his cousin that the case was throughout because of legal search and seizure. You got Boosie sitting on here talking about this if what does it need for if you just pick the phone up and you holler at somebody? Like, I just don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? So is this a move, a WWF move, in order to keep Boosie relevant, in order to keep T.I. relevant, to sell albums, to, you know what I'm saying? Like, because we know that Boosie want that check. You know what I'm saying? So now is it just finna be like, oh, well, okay, since he didn't tell, I apologize, this and that, and now the album coming out and all this other stuff. Like, come on, man. Like. This industry fake, man. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to be keeping an eye on that. Now, if Boosie come out and retract, we know that this is nothing more than a publicity stunt in order to sell albums. You know what I'm saying? They got to get creative. And it seems like this is what's going on. So y'all leave y'all thoughts down in the comment section. I'm signing off here on Israelite Talk TV. Shalom.